Sometimes, the current of life pulls you into waters you did not choose. You might experience a sudden loss, face a moment of crisis, or watch as the foundations of your world seem to crumble. But what if these detours are not mistakes? Consider that every challenge, every unexpected turn, and every stumble is woven into a design far grander than you can see right now. An ancient stream of wisdom suggests that no event in your life is without meaning. Each experience is here to carve, to polish, and to guide you toward a more profound understanding. In our time together, we will explore this perspective of deep trust in life's process. We will look at how to embrace what unfolds and transform every stone in your path into a stepping stone. If you have ever looked at your circumstances and asked, "Why is this happening to me?" then I invite you to journey with us to the very end. The insight waiting for you might reshape your entire view of existence. The unseen gift within hardship pain is a current that runs through all human life. There is no one who is a stranger to loss, to failure, or to the weight of disappointment. But what defines your journey is not the hardship you encounter. It is the meaning you choose to find within it. Ancient teachings don't view hardship as a penalty or a random act of cosmic cruelty. Instead, it is understood as a guide in disguise. Even when its purpose is hidden from you, every moment of pressure contains a seed of profound growth. Your immediate impulse, when faced with pain, is to push it away. You want the problem to cease, for life to return to its previous state, for the internal storm to calm. But what if this discomfort is not here to break you? What if it's the very force that is meant to reshape you? Life's most powerful truths are often discovered only through friction. Like a river carving a canyon through solid rock, difficulties wear away your non-essentials and reveal the strength of your core. A timeless truth suggests that while challenges are a part of life, the struggle against them is a choice. The difference is in your approach. If you hold on to the pain, you give it permanence. If you resist it, you grant it power. But if you learn to observe it with a quiet mind, you will find that within every difficult experience, a quiet wisdom is waiting to be heard. There is an old story that speaks to this. A young student felt burdened by the bitterness of his life, seeing only injustice in his path. His teacher, listening with presence, guided him to a vast, clear lake. He was told to cast a handful of salt into its waters, and then to drink from the lake. The student drank, and the water was fresh and pure. The teacher then shared, "The salt is your hardship. Its bitterness never changes. What changes is the vessel that holds it. To soften the taste of your challenges, you must expand the space of your awareness." This simple metaphor reveals a profound truth. When you allow your pain to become your entire world, its bitterness is all you can taste. But when you broaden your perspective, understanding that each moment is but a single drop in the ocean of your life, the pain no longer defines you. You can shift the question from, "Why is this happening to me?" to a more empowering inquiry, "What is this moment revealing to me?" So often, your moments of greatest difficulty precede your greatest clarity. What feels like a dead end today can later reveal itself to be a hidden gateway. A lost job may be the catalyst to finding your true calling. A painful ending might create the space needed for profound self-acceptance. A crisis can become the invitation to live in a completely new way. This perspective invites you to see hardship not as a threat, but as a transformative opportunity. The aim isn't to seek out struggle, but to understand that when it arrives, it's not here to diminish you, but to awaken you. Every challenge compels you to cultivate new inner resources: stillness, resilience, compassion. It illuminates the parts of yourself that are calling for your attention and gives you the opportunity for true healing. To bring this into your life, the next time you meet a challenge, do not turn away. Simply pause and ask, "What is here for me to learn? How can I use this energy to evolve? What is this feeling showing me about myself?" Hardship is woven into the fabric of life, but it doesn't have to be the identity you wear. When you honor its lessons, you stop seeing it as an adversary and begin using it as a tool for your own becoming. In the end, every trial you meet is simply a part of your path home to yourself. Without upheaval, there is no unfolding. A state of comfort is what you naturally seek, yet you rarely pause to consider its true cost. When life is predictable, when all feels managed, you tend to grow stagnant. You hold on to the familiar, you shy away from the unknown, and you prioritize the illusion of safety over the possibility of growth. But a deep law of nature states that without upheaval, there can be no true unfolding. It is the very moments that shake you from your slumber that become the true agents of your evolution. A crisis, though deeply uncomfortable, is a powerful awakening. It pulls you from the rhythm of your routine, forces you to expand beyond your perceived limits, and compels you to question your deepest assumptions. Without these moments of profound disruption, you might never have the courage to build new strengths, to release old patterns, or to explore potentials you never knew you possessed. Life, in its immense wisdom, often uses adversity to propel you forward. Consider a seed. For it to become a mighty tree, it cannot remain on the comfortable surface. It must be cast into the darkness of the earth. It must break open from its own shell, and it must push through resistance to find the light. The journey is one of struggle, but it is the only way for its potential to be realized. The same is true for you. Without these moments of breaking, without this necessary descent into the unknown, you could not fully blossom into who you are meant to be. The quiet wisdom of nature demonstrates this. A butterfly's wings gain their power only through the intense effort of breaking free from the cocoon. Without that struggle, without that resistance, it would never have the strength to fly. Your journey is no different. You require the resistance of life's challenges to build your inner strength. Each difficult chapter calls you to adapt, to expand, and to find new resources within yourself to meet the moment. Without this chaos, you would remain dormant, contained within the familiar walls of your comfort zone. This understanding teaches you to see disruption not as an attack, but as an ally. And so, you can learn to ask, what is life asking me to become through this experience? If this way of seeing resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe and join our community. Together, we can explore this path of turning life's challenges into our greatest strengths. Consider sharing this perspective with someone who might need to hear it today. If you reflect on your life, you will see that your most significant growth did not arise from times of ease. It was forged in the fire of crisis. Loss taught you to treasure what truly matters. Failure taught you the resilience of your own spirit. Unexpected turns guided you to destinations you never would have discovered on your own. Embracing chaos does not mean celebrating pain. It means trusting the creative process of which it is a part. When you cease resisting the current of change, you tap into a well of strength you never knew was there. Life is not about avoiding the storms. It is about learning to navigate them with grace. Every crisis is a sacred invitation to evolve. If you trust the journey, you will find that after the chaos, a new version of yourself is always waiting to be born, more awake, more resilient, and more free. The unseen architecture of existence. There are times when life seems utterly random and without reason. You encounter obstacles that feel unfair. Your path deviates from your intentions, and you begin to question if you are lost. Yet, within many wisdom traditions, there is an understanding that nothing in the universe is accidental. An unseen architecture guides all of creation, even when its blueprint is invisible to you. This is the underlying flow of existence. This flow is the silent, intelligent unfolding of life itself, where everything emerges in its right time and for a higher purpose. From this viewpoint, there are no true mistakes, only lessons. There are no accidents, only necessary parts of a larger, interconnected whole. Even the events you label as wrong or bad are essential threads in a more magnificent tapestry. Observe the natural world. The seasons do not rush, they arrive in their perfect time. A river finds its way to the ocean without questioning its path. A tree grows towards the light without anxiety. Nothing in nature resists its own essence. It simply flows with what is. As humans, however, you struggle. You create a rigid idea of how life should be, and when reality does not conform, you experience friction and pain. Consider this: when you stand at the edge of a powerful river and try to force it to change its course, you will only exhaust yourself. The river will continue its journey, indifferent to your struggle. This is how the natural law of life operates. When you stop fighting and instead learn to move with its powerful current, you find your destination with far less resistance. This does not imply passivity or a belief that your life is already written. It is an invitation to act with profound awareness, to make choices that are in alignment with your own deepest truth. Very often, your struggles appear when you have drifted from your own path. Life presents you with gentle signals first, and if you do not listen, the obstacles grow larger, urging you to return to the person you are truly meant to be. Ancient wisdom suggests that when something departs from your life, it has fulfilled its purpose for your growth. When you are faced with a challenge, it is because you are being prepared for what lies ahead. And when something is delayed, it is because the timing is not yet aligned with the whole. This invisible order reminds you that everything has its own season. You cannot command a flower to bloom before its time, nor can you will the sun to rise. The same is true for your own unfolding. You seek immediate solutions, a swift end to pain, an instant transformation, but life has its own sacred rhythm. Trusting this rhythm is the key that unlocks you from the prison of anxiety. When you begin to internalize that all things unfold for a reason, you stop seeing challenges as personal attacks. You recognize them as vital opportunities. If a door does not open, instead of forcing it, you can ask with curiosity, what is this redirection teaching me? You often understand this flow only in retrospect. What feels like a devastating loss today may reveal itself, with time, as a necessary clearing. But if you can learn to trust life's unseen order in the present moment, you will discover a profound peace, even amid chaos. Your path is yours alone. To compare it with another's is to lose your way. Listening to your inner wisdom, honoring your intuition, and moving with openness allows you to walk in harmony with life's flow. You are not here by chance. Every encounter, every choice, and every experience is a meaningful part of a greater balance. When you trust that everything happens in its perfect time, you cease to live in a state of fear and begin to live from a place of purpose. The myth of control, learning to flow with the river of life. From your earliest years, you are taught to manage your life. You are told that with enough hard work, meticulous planning, and the right choices, you can architect a predictable future. But eventually, life itself becomes the great teacher, showing you otherwise. No matter how much you plan, some things will always remain beyond your command. A bond you thought was unbreakable may dissolve. A career you felt was solid may vanish. A future that seemed so clear may suddenly become clouded. When your plans fall apart, your mind reacts with frustration, anxiety, and fear. You wonder what you did wrong, why things unraveled when you tried so hard to hold them together. It is here that ancient wisdom offers a transformative insight. The belief in ultimate control is an illusion. Nothing in this life is ever completely certain. You think you are building on solid ground, but the truth is, the entire ground is a flowing river. Your mind resists this truth because it desperately wants guarantees. It wants a map. It wants to know the destination. And when life reveals it is an unpredictable voyage, the mind creates immense turmoil. There's a perspective as old as the mountains that explains this. Imagine yourself standing by a powerful river. You are asked to stop its flow with just your hands. You could try with all your might, but the water would simply move around your fingers, continuing its relentless journey. A wise teacher would then say, "Life is this river. You can fight its current and exhaust your spirit, or you can learn to build a raft and move with it." Much of your inner turmoil arises from clinging to a fixed idea of how things are supposed to be. You tell yourself that happiness is conditional, dependent on reaching a specific goal, on your life remaining stable, on nothing ever changing. But the nature of existence is change itself. It always has been. The more desperately you cling to your need for control, the more turbulent your journey becomes. Releasing your grip is not about giving up or becoming helpless. It is the wisdom of knowing that, while you can choose your actions, you must release your attachment to the outcomes. You put your full heart into your efforts, but you allow the universe to handle the results. This is the art of moving with effortless grace. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting in deep harmony with the current of life. Instead of swimming against the powerful tide, you learn to navigate it with skill. Instead of resisting the inevitable seasons of change, you adapt and move with what life is offering you now. When you learn to trust that the river of life is carrying you exactly where you need to be, the deep hum of anxiety begins to quiet. You stop obsessing over a future you cannot predict and start inhabiting the only moment you truly have, the present. You accept that uncertainty is a part of the journey, but you no longer perceive it as a threat. You see it as the very nature of adventure. A powerful practice is to look back at the moments when life did not follow your plan, yet something even more beautiful was born from the wreckage. Perhaps a relationship's end opened the door to true self-love. Perhaps a career setback guided you toward more meaningful work. Perhaps a moment of failure unveiled a resilience you never knew you possessed. When you let go of the illusion of control, you let go of fear. You stop trying to manage every single detail and instead place your trust in your own capacity to meet whatever arises. This will not make your life easy, but it will allow you to find an unshakable peace in the midst of the storm. Life is not an object for you to control. It is a dance for you to learn. When you stop fighting the flow, you discover a profound stillness and clarity you never thought possible. Stillness in the storm, finding your anchor in uncertainty. Life is an endless current of the unexpected. In one moment, your world feels solid. In the next, everything has shifted. A job is lost, a connection is severed, a new mountain appears on your path. Uncertainty is woven into the very fabric of existence, yet your instinct is to resist it. You search for permanent ground, for control, for a predictable path, and yet, the only constant you can truly rely on is change itself. Ancient wisdom teaches that peace is not found by eliminating uncertainty, but by learning to be present within it. You cannot command the winds of life to stop blowing, but you can learn to adjust your sails. You can discover a deep inner calm, even when the world outside feels turbulent. Imagine you are in a small boat on a vast ocean. If you try to fight the rhythm of the waves, you will only exhaust your strength. But if you learn to rise and fall with them, to flow with their movement instead of battling against it, you realize you can navigate even the most powerful seas. Uncertainty is this ocean. You cannot control its currents, but you can learn to sail with wisdom. There's an old way of seeing embodied by a monk living on a windswept mountain. A traveler rushed to him in a panic, crying, "A great storm is coming! You must flee this place before it is too late." The monk replied with perfect stillness, "If the storm is coming, I will be here to greet it." The traveler insisted, "But the storm could take your life." The monk smiled gently and said, "If death comes, I will accept death. If life continues, I will accept life. Whatever unfolds, I am here for it." This is not a call to be reckless. It is a call to release the deep fear of what you ultimately cannot control. The fear of the unknown comes from a place of doubt in your own capacity to meet it. But the truth is, you have successfully navigated every single day of your life up to this moment. That is all the evidence you need to know that you have the strength for whatever comes next. So often, the unexpected events in your life are carrying hidden gifts. The job that was lost might become the doorway to your true calling. The relationship that ended might be the very lesson you needed for profound self-discovery. A sudden obstacle may be the catalyst for you to grow in ways you could never have planned. When life rearranges your plans, it may be preparing a space for something far greater to arrive. A powerful inquiry to find peace in uncertainty is to ask yourself, How many times has an event that seemed tragic at first later revealed itself as a blessing? Do I truly need to know all the answers in this moment? Am I sacrificing the peace of today for a future that is only a thought? Life is in constant motion. To fight this flow is the very definition of suffering. Accepting uncertainty doesn't mean you abandon your intentions or your dreams. It means you trust that no matter which way the path turns, you will find your way. Peace does not come from knowing what tomorrow holds. It comes from learning to be fully present with the questions. It is not about certainty of the future. It is about trust in your ability to meet the future. Nothing in this life is guaranteed. But when you release your fear of the unknown, you unlock a profound sense of freedom. Instead of worrying about what might be, you begin to live fully in what is. This is the path. How every moment is an awakening. Your life can often feel like a series of unpredictable events. You move through challenges, losses, and transformations you did not ask for. And yet, from a deeper perspective, every single one of these moments is a lesson. An ancient understanding reveals that every event, no matter how difficult or confusing, is a sacred part of your path to awakening. This awakening is not a distant destination you must strive for. It is not something you find outside of yourself. It is a presence that already resides within you, waiting to be recognized. And every moment of your life, particularly the most challenging ones, is a calling to awaken, to see things exactly as they are, without judgment and without resistance. Reflect on the times you have grown the most. It is unlikely they were moments of ease. They were the times when life stretched you, when it tested your limits, and when it forced you to look within for your own answers. That is the true path of awakening, not a singular, dramatic event, but the gentle, ongoing process of coming to understand yourself and the nature of life more deeply. When you shift your core question from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What is this moment trying to teach me?" your entire reality transforms. You move from the role of a victim to that of a dedicated student of life. Every obstacle becomes your teacher. Every loss becomes an opportunity to open your heart wider. So if your life feels heavy at this moment, if you are navigating something that feels beyond your understanding, trust that this too is part of your journey. No experience is ever wasted. Nothing happens by accident. Everything that unfolds is shaping you into the person you are becoming. If this message has found a home in your heart, I extend an invitation for you to subscribe and become a part of this community. Here, we walk this path of inquiry together, and I would be honored to know what insight from our time together resonated with you most deeply. Share it in the comments below. Your wisdom may be the very thing someone else needs to hear today. Thank you for your presence, and I will see you in our next exploration.